A modern train can weigh thousands of tons, yet its tracks often rest on what looks like a loose pile of rocks. Remove those rocks, and many tracks would slowly sink, shift, collect water, and lose the precise alignment trains depend on. The stones are not leftover construction material, and they are not there mainly because they are cheap. They form a carefully engineered foundation called ballast. So why stones? Because a railway needs a foundation that can carry enormous weight, hold the track in place, drain water, absorb repeated movement, and still be repaired without rebuilding the entire line. A solid concrete slab may sound stronger, but strength alone is not the challenge. The real job is controlling huge forces while keeping two steel rails perfectly spaced, level, and aligned across miles of changing ground. Start with the weight. A train wheel touches the rail across a remarkably small area, concentrating a huge force onto the steel beneath it. The rail passes that force into the ties, also called sleepers, which spread it sideways before sending it down into the ballast. The ballast spreads the load across an even wider area, so the soil below is not crushed at a few narrow points. Think of standing on soft ground in high heels, then standing on a wide board. Your weight has not changed, but the board spreads the pressure, so you do not sink as easily. Ballast does something similar for a train, only on a much larger and far more demanding scale. Without that broad support, small weak spots in the ground could become dips, and those dips could push the rails out of alignment. For a railway, a small alignment error is not just an ugly bump. It can cause rough riding, speed restrictions, damaged components, or, in the worst case, a derailment. But ordinary stones would not work. Railway ballast is usually made from hard, crushed rock with sharp, angular faces, not smooth pebbles collected from a riverbed. That shape is the hidden trick. Round stones behave like marbles because vibration makes them roll and rearrange themselves. Angular stones press against one another, and their edges interlock into a stable mass that resists sliding sideways. It is less like a box of balls and more like a three-dimensional puzzle made from rough stone. The pieces are not glued together, but they grip one another strongly enough to hold the ties in position. That matters because every passing train creates downward impacts, sideways forces and curves, and repeated vibration throughout the track. Ballast resists those forces without becoming completely rigid. The stones can move by tiny amounts, settle, and redistribute pressure instead of sending every impact directly into the ties, fasteners, and ground. That does not mean the rails are loosely floating around. The track is controlled by its weight, fastenings, ballast depth, compacted support, and the shoulders of stone beside the ties. The result is a foundation that is firm, but still adjustable. The size of the stones matters too. If the pieces were too small, they would act more like gravel, trap dirt, and break down faster under repeated loading. If they were too large, they would be difficult to pack evenly beneath every tie. Railways therefore use a graded range of hard stone that can interlock while leaving enough open space for water to drain. And the visible rocks are only one layer in the system. Below the ballast may be smaller aggregate, protective layers, and prepared soil that separate materials, spread loads further, and keep the foundation stable. The stones get the attention because they are visible, but they work as part of a carefully built track bed. That adjustability is one reason ballast remains common even on modern rail networks. If a section becomes uneven, maintenance crews can lift the track slightly and use a tamping machine to pack ballast beneath the ties. The machine restores the track's height, level, and alignment without pouring an entirely new foundation. Ballast also handles another enemy that can quietly weaken a railway: water. Rain must move away from the track quickly because saturated ground loses strength and can shift under repeated loads. The gaps between clean ballast stones allow water to pass through toward drains and away from the track bed. Ballast is not a complete drainage system by itself, but it helps stop water from remaining trapped directly beneath the ties. When fine dirt, broken stone, and other material fill those gaps, the ballast becomes fouled. Drainage worsens, support becomes less predictable, and the track may need cleaning or replacement. Passing trains gradually push some stones downward and outward, while rubbing can chip their sharp edges and create fine particles. Even a well-designed rock bed slowly changes shape, so railway maintenance becomes a continuing effort to preserve the track's geometry. The stones cannot simply be dumped once and forgotten. They wear, move, collect contamination, and need inspection, tamping, cleaning, and occasional renewal. There is one more reason the rock bed extends beyond the track itself. The ballast shoulders beside the ends of the ties help resist sideways movement, especially when trains brake, accelerate, or travel through curves. They also help the track resist forces created when long welded rails heat up and try to expand. Ballast does not remove thermal stress, and railways still watch carefully for track buckling during hot weather. But strong sideways support helps keep the track geometry where engineers designed it to be. The rough stone surface can also make plant growth more difficult, although railways still need active vegetation control along their routes. So the stones are not a magical weed killer, as they are sometimes described. Their main jobs are structural support, load distribution, drainage, and resistance to movement. And not every railway uses them. Some modern lines use slab track, where the rails are fastened to a rigid concrete structure instead of resting on a deep bed of crushed stone. Slab track can work well in tunnels, on bridges, and on routes where stable geometry and less routine adjustment are especially valuable. But it usually requires very precise construction, a strong base, and more complicated repairs if the supporting structure moves or becomes damaged. Ballasted track is more forgiving. Engineers can add stone, remove contaminated material, adjust the alignment, and renew sections with specialized machines. That combination of performance and repairability explains why crushed rock remains common beneath railways around the world. The clever part is not that stone is old-fashioned. The clever part is that millions of separate stones work together as one adjustable engineering system. Each train pushes down, the ties spread the force, the rocks lock together, and water escapes through the spaces between them. Maintenance crews can then reshape that foundation when years of traffic slowly disturb it. So the next time a train passes, look below the steel. What seems like a messy pile of rocks is carrying the load, protecting the ground, holding the line, and giving engineers a foundation they can repair. The railway works because the stones lock together.